Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. And yes, you've seen the title of the video, that's probably why you clicked on it. It is now time for Lewis Hamilton to hang up his hat and retire. Let's discuss. So Lewis Hamilton now is reaching a level of Sebastian Vettelness in his final years at Ferrari in the list of excuses that Lewis seems to constantly come out with every single race. He keeps going on about, it's not me, it's the car, it's the car. But how much longer are we going to see through this charade which is going on through this season? Let's just have a look at George Russell and have a look at how he's doing with the car. Yes, the car is not its best. The Mercedes is not the best car in the field at the moment, but George Russell, he's doing the best job that anyone could be doing. But as for Lulu, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. Starting so far down the grid as well, 19th position. He went onto the soft tyre, which alright, those tyres probably weren't much good, but he just did nothing with them. He just did absolutely nothing with them, and he did manage to get up the field, you know, to quite a decent position. But let's go back to the start of Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton when he was in his prime. I mean, you always remember that F2 race when I think he spun and then came up from last on the grid to win the race, I do believe. That's not the Lewis Hamilton we're seeing every other Sunday or every Sunday on our television screens right now. That is not that same Lewis Hamilton. But let's face it, he's almost 40 years old. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, what about Fernando Alonso? And I agree with you. I really do agree with you. What about Fernando Alonso? But there's something about Fernando Alonso. I don't know what it is, but he's just a Superman. He really is. And I've also said in the past that I believe his break from Formula One did him a lot of good. And so, you know, had a few years off and then came back. And I think that was very good for him. Lewis Hamilton, don't forget, has been in Formula One for a very, very long time. A very, very long time. And he just to me looks tired while he's out there racing. He looks fed up. He's always smiling. He's always sort of, you know, making little jokes or whatever. But I think deep down, Lewis Hamilton knows that the end of his career is approaching faster than what Lewis Hamilton wants it to approach him, to be honest. I believe at the end of this season, he should just hang it up, give Carlos Sainz the contract for next year and say, go with it, my son, because I'm out of here. And Lewis Hamilton should just, I don't know, go away to a desert island or whatever and have a good darn rest for a couple of years. If he wants to come back to Formula One like Fernando Alonso has done, fair enough. But at the moment, this is not Lewis Hamilton. This is just not him. It's not helped, I don't think, a little bit by Mercedes. I do believe that Toto Wolff and probably quite a few of the others there have pretty much washed their hands of Lewis Hamilton already, even at only round 5 of the championship. I think they're already looking onto other things. So they seem to be concentrating their focus more on Russell than they do on Lewis Hamilton. That's my opinion anyway. And they seem to have sort of, you know, pushed Lewis off to one side, which isn't helping. But Lewis himself isn't helping himself either by the situations he's putting himself in by not being very competitive. Before I get bashed by my haters, I just want to say I'm not bashing Lewis Hamilton whatsoever. We all reach that peak of our career and then we start to go down. If you're a sportsman, not for me of course, I never had a peak, but if you're a sportsman, you reach that peak and then you slowly go down, and that is what is happening to Lewis Hamilton. And I think it will be a huge mistake for him to go to Ferrari next year. It'll be a disaster. Not just a mistake, an absolute disaster. And I think the high-ups in Ferrari must be realising that right now. They must be. If you take everything into consideration, that the emphasis is being more on Russell than it is on Hamilton and everything else, he's just not performing how Lewis Hamilton, a 7 times world champion, should be. In an underperforming car, yes, but a car that should be up there further up the grid. And it's just not happening. It's just not happening. And he's just reaching that level now of embarrassment. It's just starting to look embarrassing. It really is. And I think Lewis should just go away now at the end of the season, hang his hat up and retire. There's no way he's going to get that 8th world championship. I know that's his dearest wish. He wants to beat Michael Schumacher. Personally, I prefer it if you just stayed level with Michael Schumacher. I don't even want Max Verstappen to beat Michael Schumacher's 7th record. I don't mind that they're level with each other. That's fine. But I don't want anyone to beat that record. I think that should be kept with Michael Schumacher, to be honest. So, yeah, he's never going to win that 8 times world championship. It's not going to happen. Not the age that he's at now and the level of performance that he's at now. He's never ever going to get that 8th title, and I think that's what he's holding on to, and he really shouldn't. He really should just hang it up now and say, well, lads, I've had a great career. And let's face it, he has had a great career. Just look back at his career and it has been great. Yes, a lot of people say he was always in the fastest car, which means he's always going to win races and always going to win championships. Yes, there is an element to that. I agree entirely there's an element to that. But also, you have to have that determination to win. And you also have to have that little bit more than the other drivers down the back of the field to actually get in that position in the first place. And Lewis Hamilton did that. You don't become a 7 times world champion and not be, any good, because that never happens. Underperforming drivers never become world champions. That's how it works. Yes. If you're, up there, one of the best, then you will do well. But if you're not, then you won't. And Lewis Hamilton, absolutely fantastic career. He can sit there and back at his home and look at all those trophies he's accumulated over the years and have so much pride with himself and say, yes, I did all that and I'm proud of it. And he should be proud of it because he's had a great career. But I just think now it's time for Lewis to call it a day. Carlos Sainz should not be replaced by Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari. That is a huge mistake because Lewis Hamilton is absolutely nowhere near Carlos Sainz, absolutely nowhere near on pace with Carlos Sainz. So he should just, say at the end of the season, that's it, lads, I'm done. And you know what? Everyone will be so proud of him if he did that. Then if he actually drags his arse over to Ferrari next year and starts, doing a Sebastian Vettel again and ending up 15th and 16th place finishes. And everyone's just going to go, oh, God, why did you do that, Lewis? What? And yet, if he just ends it at the end of this season, he will have so much adoration. He really will. Because he will know that it's time to go. The public will know that it's time to go. And everyone will be ready for it. Because he's been in the sport a long time. And I know there's some huge amounts of Lewis Hamilton fans as well. Huge amounts. So, yeah, just at the end of the season, hang up your hat, Lewis. Be proud of yourself. And move on, do other things. The thing is, you've spent the best years of your life, really, the best years of your life in Formula One. You've given Formula One everything, okay? Lots of other people, when they're only in their 20s, are going out every night getting, pissed and whatever, and drinking and whatever. You weren't doing that because you had a commitment to be the fastest driver in Formula One. Those were your best years and you dedicated those best years to becoming the best. And you were the best. You still are to a certain extent, but not at the moment. So yes, please, Lewis, just hang your hat up. Have pride in yourself and retire at the end of the season. Okay, on to the race then. Well, it was, a pretty much another 5 out of 10 race. Congratulations once again to Sebastian Vettel. See, I've got him on my brain now. Oh, I wish it was Sebastian Vettel, to be honest. Congratulations once again to Max Verstappen for winning the race, of course, and special congratulations to Lando Norris. Lando! For finishing in second place. Well done. And Checo Perez, of course, finished in third position. My special award of Twat of the Week goes to, yes, you guessed it, Lance Stroll. Yes, Lance Stroll. Oh my God. Yes, smack straight into the car in front and then goes over the radio. That idiot just brake tested me. That idiot just brake tested me. I nearly fell off my chair with laughter. I really did. I nearly fell off my chair with laughter. One thing I don't agree with, though, is during this safety car period where you've got to stay behind each other now, that is a little bit of a recipe for disaster. And in the race, we did see a little bit of a recipe for disaster. Fernando Alonso, of course, locked up and almost crashed into the car in front of him. And, of course, Lance Stroll, because he hasn't got that much skill, did crash in the car in front of him. And so I don't believe that you should have to do single file when you're going behind the safety car. I know there's a new rule coming, I think, a couple of years ago, or maybe only last year, I can't remember. But that seems a little bit daft to me. You should only single file it as the safety car is about to come in and then everyone's, behind. Then it should go to single file. But if you're actually all going around the track for about 2 or 3 laps, that should not be in single file because, if you play F1 games, you'll know, especially online, okay? You get a safety car out, people in front, they're always braking right in front of you and you smack straight to their arse unless you take avoiding action and go off to the left or the right very, very quickly. But they're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to go duck left, That's wrong. FIA, no, that's a wrong decision. No. Yeah, keep them single file for the last part of the bit where the safety car comes in and they're about to come round the corner. Yes, I can understand single file, but don't insist on single file when they're going around in that safety car snake, because that snake is a very unstable snake indeed, and lots of things can happen, and all the time cars are sort of revving up and braking hard, and the car behind us, whoa, hang on son, that happens all the time. So being in single file is an absolutely stupid idea, really is a stupid idea. You must be able to let them duck to the left or right to get out of the car's way that's in front of them at times when I say they brake too hard. So that's a stupid idea. Yeah, we need to get rid of that. Just have the single file for the last part of the lap when the safety car comes in. So apart from the few safety cars, of course, it was another fantastic race. Best of the season so far. A return finally to China after 5 years. Of course, we had COVID, which was an excuse for a couple of years. It hasn't been the excuse for the last few years, of course. That has been due to heightened tensions, I have to say, between the West and China, which seems to have cooled down over this past year. Yes, relations seem to be improving. Things have cooled down a little bit. So, lo and behold, Formula One returns to China. Yes. I always loved the circuit. Don't get me wrong. I think the circuit's beautiful. And I just love that very, very tight right-hander into turn one. It's just absolutely brilliant because, there's so many lines you can take to try and get past cars. It's really, really great. It's great on the F1 games anyway. I've no idea what it's like in real life because I'm not an F1 driver. I never will be. But yeah, so I just love China. But unfortunately, once again, due to the way everything is going at the moment, it was another sort of 5 out of 10 race. It was marginally exciting, but not for any sort of length of time. This, unfortunately, is how 2024 is going to play out this year, I believe, because Max is just going to walk every single race. As I say, the only time he's going to retire is when he gets an engine problem or something wrong with the car. The rest of the time, no one's going to beat him unless he crashes, into someone. But apart from that, Max is just about going to win every race. So the battle throughout the championship is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all anyone's going to be interested in, because Max, I mean, the rate he's going now, he could possibly be uncatchable by about Silverstone at the rate he's going now. So yeah, it won't be long. He could actually, I know he's had that retirement with the brake failure, but if he continues like this, he could actually win the championship with 9 rounds still to go. I've been doing a little bit of calculations in my head while I'm talking to you right now, and if he continues on this pace, he could win it with 9 races still left to go. Of course, anything can happen in Formula One, and as Murray Walker used to say, it usually does. And of course, yes, anything could happen to Max to put paid to that. But if he keeps winning every single race, 24 rounds left in the championship, then with 9 rounds to go, he could be world champion, which I do believe is going to be a record. I don't think anyone's done that. It's a record I'm not keen on because, as I say, I don't like a dominating era of Formula One. It's not my cup of tea. Of course, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't ask Max to slow down. So we just got to wait until something happens, which will probably now be 2026 when the new regulation changes come in, because that looks like it's going to be an absolute disaster waiting to happen. So I can't wait for the championship to start in 2026 because it looks interesting, especially with these new flexi wings at the front. If no one knows what I'm talking about, yes, there's going to be flexi wings on the front for the first time. I mean, yes, okay. Lots of the front wings for all the years have, you see them flexing up. But this is an actual flexi wing for the DRS. For the DRS, yes, because they've worked out that the DRS system is not working as well with just the rear wing. So they're going to have a flexi wing on the front. That's going to be great. I'm a little bit concerned if one of the cars loses its end fence. What happens to that flexi wing? Is it not going to work at all? And so they're going to have to come in for a pit stop. That would add a bit of excitement, I have to say, because, all the drivers would be really tiptoeing about trying to make sure they don't hit each other, apart from Lance Stroll, if he's still in Formula One in 2026. Well, he probably will be, yes. Cha-ching! Cha-ching! So, yeah, but that would be fun if, all the drivers are trying to avoid each other. So I can't wait for that in 2026. But as for Formula One at the moment, I fear that for this year and for 2025, it's going to be just business as usual. I cannot see any fundamental change. The FIA doesn't seem interested in doing anything. They're just going to sit back and count the money until the season's over. And then we'll have 2025 and it'll be pretty much the same. And then 2026, as I say, is going to be the big change. But how much of a change, we've no idea. Let's just sort of wait and see. So it's not a good time right now for Formula One fans. It really isn't. And I apologise. I feel guilty myself. But it's not my fault. It's nothing to do with me. But I do feel guilty. So I do apologise. But there's nothing else we can do about it. We just got to get through this year and possibly next year. And hopefully 2026 will bring about some change. Hopefully. Well, there will be one change. Of course, Red Bull will be using their own engines. Yes, with that partnership with Ford, who are only supplying the electrical part of the engine. So that could be exciting because that is a major change from the Honda units they're using now. So that could be exciting, especially if they, don't get it right. I'm not saying they won't, but it's possible. And they could end up further down the field, and then that would be really exciting in 2026, especially with Audi coming in as well. Well, they've already got Sauber, of course, already. They've already owned the team, but with them actually officially coming in 2026, that could be exciting. So there you go. That's what we just got to hope for. Hope for the best, and hopefully, I know lots of people. I've seen lots of people on Twitter and Facebook and all around the place are leaving F1 in droves, and I can totally understand why. They're leaving F1 in droves. Hopefully they'll come back. Because I hate, to see that they don't come back and it's all over. Formula One, if it deteriorates to a certain level, then questions will have to be asked. The trouble is, as I've said before, I don't think there's anyone at the FIA that even seems bothered about changing anything. They just carry on. So, unfortunately, there's no more Bernie Ecclestones in FIA. There's no more Max Mosleys either. So, the people that are there now, I don't rate them at all. I just don't rate them at all. I'm sorry. Anyway, so there you go. That was another quick review of the Chinese Grand Prix. 5 out of 10 race. Not very exciting. But I'll say that's going to be the norm for most of the races now. And thanks so much for watching, everyone. You have been awesome as always. Let me know in the comments what you think about my comments on Lewis Hamilton. Do you think it is time for him to retire, or do you think he should just, plug it out for the rest of this season, plug away at it, do what he can, and then get into Ferrari, and then hopefully he'll be rejuvenated, refreshed, and ready to go? Frankly, I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows? It may do. I'll tell you what, if Lewis Hamilton wins a race in the Ferrari next year, I will eat my teddy bear. Yes, I seriously will. I will eat my teddy bear because, I don't think it's going to happen, but who knows. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. You've been awesome as always, and I will catch you in the next video.